Big g'day and welcome to another edition of the BFNL Footy Show. Looking back to round 6, my name's Yeendy, excited to be with you, and I'm here with Lee and Brady. Thanks again for joining us, mate.
Mate, always a pleasure. Looking forward to talking a bit of footy for this weekend, mate. It was a big weekend of footy last weekend, mate, and some big games coming up next weekend.
Yeah, no, it shapes up to be a cracking weekend in round 7, but let's look ahead to the first game, mate, and Lake Windaree, 72-point winners over North Ballarat City. How'd you see this one go?
Yeah, look, North City have got a few players there, to be fair. They've got quite a few injured players at the moment, so I'm not real surprised with this result in the end. Look, Lake Windaree jumped out of the blocks and led by a couple of goals at quarter time, and you know, they were very good performance throughout the day. They've just looking at the scores here now. They had you know, I think about 10 or so goal kickers. Lucas Anderson kicked 7 goals. He's been a massive inclusion back into Lake Windaree's lineup. We know that he missed most of last year with a knee injury, so he's like a new recruit basically. And Nathan Pring, who's played some really good footy so far this year, he kicked 5 goals as well. So they're becoming a fairly potent side up for Lake Windaree. Look, they've started the year really well. North City, they just need to somehow try and get back on the winners list. With the amount of injuries they've got, they're just finding it really hard at the moment. So,
well, they haven't won since Anzac Day, which is pretty tough.
Yeah, it is tough, and I think you know, the competition is really even, as we know. You know, in terms of the sides between 4th and sort of 8th and 9th. So, if they can string some wins together over the next few games, they can probably start to think about playing finals footy again. But at the moment, it looks like they're in for a sort of a tough period with the amount of players they've got out of the side.
Well, they kicked 3 goals, 7 in the first term. If that's 7 goals, 3 they're in front, that gives them a little bit of momentum. But hindsight is a wonderful thing, mate. As the next game, and we see this team has just been flying this year. Darley 23-16, 154 defeated East Point 96-60. It wasn't a bad performance there by the Kangaroos.
From East Point?
Yeah. Do
you reckon?
I don't think I'm not too disappointed with how they went, but considering how Darley have been travelling, East Point in the first term, they kept up with the Devils. I didn't think it was a bad effort from them.
Yeah, I think East Point will be very disappointed with this result. I think that East Point have shown. I've been really impressed with the way you know, East Point have played in patches this year. They took it right up to Lake Windaree at the Eastern Oval, and they obviously had a really good win last week against North City. So they would have gone to this game with a fair bit of confidence, playing at home as well. Look, Darley have pretty much they've won by 94 points. So look, Darley are a very good side. We know that they're a side that I think will go deep into September. I think they're a big chance to win the premiership this year. So a really good performance again by Darley. But I think East Point would have been disappointed with that result. I think they've had 23-33. It was about 40 shots to 15. So they've had 25 more shots at goal. So they've been dominant really across the game. So look, East Point just we'll need to just try and bounce back next week.
Yeah, well, I'll probably look at it from the perspective that they've kicked more goals than what most teams have kicked in a game against Darley this year.
I think also with young sides, they're going to be inconsistent throughout the year. There's going to be performances where they probably play above their ability, and there's going to be performances where they probably play a little bit below what they're capable of, and maybe this is an example of playing a little bit below what they're capable of. East Point, I know Jay Bridges is working really hard with a young group. He's done a really good job so far, so I'm sure they'll improve as the year goes on. But on the weekend, Darley were far too strong.
And they certainly seems the benchmark of the competition. And Bacchus Marsh, cracking game from them, especially in the first half. They defeated Redan by 51 points. They were 44 points up at half-time, and that was basically all she wrote.
Yeah, look, Bacchus Marsh were great on the weekend. Really surprised with this result. I thought Redan might have been a little bit more competitive. I sort of rated Redan as a team that possibly could challenge the likes of Bacchus Marsh and Darley. But based on the weekend's performance, you have to say that Bacchus Marsh are a class above at the moment. It was 9 goals to 2 at half time, so that they were never in the game, Redan, at all throughout the day. So disappointing for them.
Well, losing Oren Stevenson in I think the first 10 minutes of the game hurt, so they're down to 21, and we know how good he can be, particularly his first game was quite good a few weeks ago.
Oh, no doubt, he's a quality player, and to have him go down with injury was disappointing, so I'm not too sure how bad it is, but hopefully he can bounce back and play some games over the next few weeks.
Fingers crossed as they make mount a run for the finals in the back end of the year. As Mountain South, they're back on the winners list, 21-13, 139 to Ballarat at 10-9, 11 goals in the first term across both sides, only roughly 4 goals in at half time, and then South, they put the foot down with 6 goals to 1 in the third term to set up the win.
Yeah, this is the game that Mountain South had to win, based on the way they performed last week against Darley, and Ballarat had a really good second half last week against Sebastopol, so for Melton South to come out, and the first quarter was pretty even, 6 goals to 5, really high scoring at quarter time. But Melton South were able to shut Ballarat out of the game after quarter time and run away with a really good 70-point victory. So they're really pleased with that, and it certainly helps their percentage as well.
Yeah, definitely a win that they needed. Great to see Mitch Banner step up. He kicked 7 goals for the second time this year, so good to see him get get on the scoreboard, which is great for the team. And I think there was across the board there was about 14 goals that come outside Fev, which were pretty good for them.
Yep.
Another big game, which was on the Sunday, we had Sunbury 17-11, 113 defeated Sebastopol 7-6-48.
Yeah, look, Sunbury, a pretty good side, and played in great conditions on Sunday. The sun was out. I was there for a bit of the game, and look, Sebastopol, I thought they, really competed hard through the midfield. They had Brett Goods back into the side, which was an added bonus for Sebastopol, and they probably had a little bit more class going forward. Sunbury, I didn't think there was too much difference when both sides had the ball through the midfield, but every time Sunbury went forward, they looked a bit more dangerous, and they were able to sort of capitalise on the opportunities they had. So they kicked 17 goals in the game, which was a good effort, and the second half was pretty good, Sunbury. So look, Sebastopol fought the game out pretty well. They kicked 3 goals in the last quarter, which I'd be pleased with. So I just need to I'll keep playing the kids, Sebas, and getting some games into those players. And for Sunbury, they'd be pleased to, I suppose, travel down the highway, get the 4 points, and also a little bit of percentage as well, and then head off home. Yeah,
and like with Mountain South, it was the game they just needed to win because they lost a few games that sort of put them in shaky grounds in the top 6.
Yep, spot on.
Fantastic, mate. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Looking back on round 6 in the BFNL, mate. We look forward to catching up with you later on in the week.
Thanks, Yeendy.